prisoners of Reddit that served long sentences. What was the biggest culture shock to you once you were released? First day out I went to McDonald's and they changed the soda fountains to touchscreen and let you add flavors and stuff. Blew my mind.
With the Coke freestyle machines like that, you can also download the Coca-Cola app and create your own drinks. The machines are connected to the internet for automatic software updates and such. This also lets the app send it your custom mix. I've never cared to do it, but it's cool nonetheless.
Damn, I've never been locked up and I didn't know this. Thanks.
You should go commit a crime so you can try it once you get out.
Happy year out, mate. Was there anything else that changed that surprised you? Given you seem to be one of the only serious answers on this thread, edit, grammar.
Thanks. Happy to be home. Streaming services were another thing that kinda blew me away. Before I went, Netflix was seen as kind of a luxury. Why would you pay for that when there's live TV? If you wanted to watch an older TV show you went to the library or Blockbuster. I feel old, lol. I've heard it said that carpeted floors are pleasantly shocking after years of walking on nothing but cement.
I can relate to this. I worked as a tree planter for an entire summer, where you're walking around on bumpy forest terrain, dodging roots, mud, dips, etc. for 12 hours every day. Coming back to civilization and walking on a carpet felt like I was floating. I can only imagine how it would have felt after years.
My dad didn't do a long stint. Just a few months before I was even born. Even then he said little things like that were wild when he got home. He said his favorite thing to do for like 3 days was turn the lights on and off, since he couldn't even do that. I work at a global fast food chain, and one guy and a woman entered. The guy was covered with tattoos. I was at the register taking orders and overheard the guy say, "What the hell is this?" referring to the kiosk. He and the woman ended up ordering from me and not the kiosk. The dude said to me, "You go away for a while and everything changes." It's crazy. He was a really nice dude and it was kind of wholesome to see the woman teaching him about new technology.
When I was 18, so back in 2001, my high school co-op placement thought it would be a good idea for me and another student to escort a freshly released inmate around. As we got to walking and talking, he told us how he went in for manslaughter, which he admitted he did, and was pinned for a murder inside, which he said he didn't do. I believed him. He admitted the first thing. That's when the other student and I were like, WTF. He saw a $2 coin, we're Canadians, and his mind was blown. He also had designs on a home-based tattoo business. He was looking for a craft store and thought Stitches, clothing store, was one. We had to explain stuff to him. Aside from him telling me to beware of sex traffickers and then kinda asking me out on a date. He was pretty nice. I told my mom when I got home though, she hit the roof.
The dishwasher at my old job served 26 years for murder. He was 21 when he went in, came out to a completely different world. I remember him constantly asking me questions to look up on my smartphone, and I never got why. Finally I convinced him to get one and spent hours walking him through it. Then I realized he thought my phone's sole functionality was to look up info and was taken aback at how much other stuff smartphones can do. Nicest man in the world, still keep up with him to this day. For those interested in the story, we'll share. Also might add that he is very open with sharing his story because he's served his time and moved on. He grew up in a very poor area. His parents worked in the custodial arts at a well-known public university. His description of the town he lived in was a total culture shock to me. Very ghetto, tons of crime. Some guy had been repeatedly raping his girlfriend at the time and told him if he raped her one more time, he'd kill him. After it happened again, he said he went to his house, buried a clip in his chest, went home and waited for the police to arrive. I remember him saying how he told his dad what he did when he got home and had already accepted the fact he's going to prison. He was 21. He's around 58 now, and still works harder than anyone in the restaurant. He admits how stupid he was when he was a kid, and wishes it never happened, but he's accepted his circumstances and moved on.
Wow, I'm conflicted. I don't condone it, but I can condemn him either.
I don't condone sacrificing 26 years of your life for that, but I definitely won't be crying for that rapist. A friend's brother went away for about 10 years. hit and run while he was smoking a bit of weed in his car before school and ended up killing an old man who was out walking. He was a nice kid and the man seemed like a nice guy, family guy too. Sad situation all around. He was pretty shocked by everything smartphone apps could do. He knew about this stuff because he was in a low security unit, but he really had a hard adjusting to actually using it. Seeing and hearing about this stuff secondhand is a huge difference to actually using it. His mind was blown by Tinder and Uber. He had a hard time grasping touchscreens or couldn't really see why they were better than buttons. He's never even had a debit card and paid for everything in cash before he went in. He lost it when he saw people tapping their phones to pay for stuff. I think he really struggled applying to jobs online. Also, told me that he was pretty lonely. She didn't go into too much detail, but all of his friends had moved on with life, gone to school, gotten jobs, many were married with kids. They were still friendly to him when he got out, but they were all almost 30 and had moved on. He was basically just starting at 18 with a criminal record. That was 2-ish years ago though. He's finishing up a city college program and going to a state school starting next year. Actually feel pretty bad for him because his family was planning on making this whole big surprise thing for him for finishing city college and it all had to be put on hold because of COVID-19. I know there are bigger worries in the world now, but it's a bummer that he doesn't get to really celebrate his first big accomplishment since prison or really in his adult life.
That really does suck. The jail system in general sucks. I'm glad he seems to have such a supportive family. I can't imagine being locked away for years, only to come out and not understand some of the basic things you need to get by. Not understanding how things have changed, or why. The world is changing so quickly. In 2010, smartphones were only beginning to become a thing. Now, you pretty much have to have one. That's partially why I believe prison should have more of a focus on rehab instead of profits. They want people to come back, and so they're incentivized to not educate and help out prisoners before they get into the world. I think they deserve better. A basic knowledge of what's out there, and basic skills, should be a moral requirement and responsibility to give. I hope he does get his celebration after all of this. That really is a bummer. I'm happy that he's on the right path, though. If you like the content, then like and subscribe for more.